Welcome to the channel. You're watching another episode of BangBets Daily, brought to you by Lit757. Today is Friday, December the 8th, and in this video, we'll be getting into our NBA picks for tonight. Let's get into it. Sweaty! So before we get into today's picks, as always, let's recap our last video. We had the Nets on the money line against the Hawks. They won in dramatic fashion by 1 point. Then we had OKC minus 1.5 against the Rockets. I think I just missed the read on that one, looking at the slate for today, because OKC's playing Golden State. So it makes sense for them to drop that game against Houston because it's a look-ahead spot all day long. So I missed that. That's on me. We're here. We're learning. We're getting better every day. And then we had Memphis minus 1.5 against Detroit. That was easy peasy. They did make us sweat the whole first 3 quarters and some change, but Memphis pulled away comfortably at the end. And then we had the under in the Clips Denver matchup, and that cleared pretty easily as well. So not a bad night, man. 3 out of 4, 75%. That's what we here for. Profits keep coming back for more. But let's get into today. First game up, we got the Charlotte Hornets hosting the Toronto Raptors. Spread sitting at 4.5. Totals at 223.5. Toronto coming in on a 2-game skid, losing their last 2 to Minnesota and Chicago. Toronto coming in. Charlotte's 6-13, 13th in the Eastern Conference. Toronto 9-12, 11th in the Eastern Conference on a 2-game skid as well, losing 2 to the Knicks and Heat. But Hornets, no LaMelo Ball. Toronto's not missing anybody major, but Terry Rozier, man, he's been hooping since LaMelo's been out. Gotta give it to him, but I still don't trust the Hornets enough here in this matchup. I mean, Raptors are gonna have a lot more size. I like Scotty. I like Siakam. I like Anobi. It's just hard to get behind Bridges and PJ Washington and Terry Rozier and Gordon Hayward up against this Raptors lineup. So I'm gonna do it, man. Give me the Raptors. Give me the Raptors minus the 4.5. I like this pick, and I honestly think it'll be pretty sweat free. So let's see what Toronto can do for us. I think they'll want to stop their losing streak against a Charlotte team that they know they're better than. Next up, we got the Philadelphia 76ers hosting the Atlanta Hawks. Spread sitting at 7.5. Totals at 241.5. Hawks coming in 9-11, 10th in the Eastern Conference on a 2-game skid. Lost their last game to Brooklyn, where we had the Nets on the money line. 1-point defeat. And they're on a 2-game losing streak as well. 76ers 13-7, 4th in the Eastern Conference. Won their last game against Washington 131-126. Joel Embiid with a 50-piece nugget super family combo meal for all of them. And how do you not get right back behind these 76ers? I'm not even going to waste a whole bunch of time on this one. We're going to keep it quick. It's early, man. It's early. But give me the 76ers minus the 7.5. This Hawks team just does not play enough defense to stop Joel Embiid. I think he's going to have another massive game. And he's just working up another MVP campaign. And that's what Joel Embiid does. He's turned out to be a great player. So I would even sprinkle a little bit on a Joel Embiid triple-double tonight. I think he's going to have a good game against these Hawks. And I do think it'll be pretty high scoring. Joel Embiid, Maxey, Trae Young, Murray. It's gonna be a lot of baskets scored in this one. But give me the 76ers laying the 8 points. This game will probably be like 136 to 115 or something like that, or 140 to 125 or something crazy. But let's see what happens. Next up, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder hosting my Golden State Warriors. Spread sitting at 3.5. Total sitting at 236.5. Golden State coming in 10-11. Won their last one in comeback fashion against the Portland Trail Blazers at home. We're 11th in the Western Conference. Thunder coming in 13-7, second in the West. Lost their last game against Houston 110 in a game where I backed them, and they couldn't get it done for us. This Warriors team, man, my Warriors, man. Hot take. Klay Thompson is washed. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I love him to death, but it's time. It's just time to move on, Golden State. Steph Curry, man, just doing everything he can to will this team to victory and success. Shout out to the babyface assassin. But I don't see how you can't get back behind the Thunder here. Give me the Thunder -3.5 at home. I like this matchup for the Thunder. I think they are the better overall team. And I think they show up here at home with the home fans behind them and step up and get back to playing quality basketball against my Golden State Warriors. Hell, I think they probably dropped the last game against the Rockets because they were looking ahead to this game against Steph Curry and the Warriors. So I think OKC locks in here and takes care of business for us. And in our last matchup, we got the San Antonio Spurs hosting the Chicago Bulls. Spread sitting at 2.5. Total sitting at 225.5. Chicago 8-14, 12th in the Eastern Conference, coming off a perfect homestand, 3-0. Who they beat? They beat the Bucks, Pelicans, and the Hornets, and now they're on the road against the Spurs. And I know a lot of people have been talking about the Pistons, but the Spurs, man, on a 15-game skid right now. They're back at home. They lost their last one to Minnesota, 102-94. They're back at home against a Bulls team with no Zach LaVine. Caruso's a game-time decision, but likely to play. Trade rumors swirling. Let's see who the Spurs are missing. Spurs have nobody on the injury report. I think I'm going to do it, man. I think I like the Spurs on the money line right here, where they're like plus 110. Plus 115 on some books. So that tells me that the bookies believe the Spurs can probably have a really good chance of winning this game, because there ain't no big plus money on the money line. But I'm gonna get behind Wemby and Popovich and SoCon and see if they can pull it off against DeRozan and the rest of this Bulls squad. So let's check out the rest of the NBA slate for tonight. We got the Orlando Magic hosting the Detroit Pistons. That spreads at 11.5. Totals at 230. I think I would like the under in that matchup. 230.5 seems a little high for a Magic game. And I would also say that 11.5, man, that's a big number, a big margin, man. I'm not saying the Magic can't do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit keep the game within 12 points. I mean, I know they've been losing every game, but they got to have a little bit of life, a little bit of a pulse, and put up some sort of fight sooner or later in one of these games. Next game up, we got the Nets hosting the Wizards, man. I almost took this game. I still do kind of like it, but I think what I'm going to do with this one is keep an eye on it after tip-off, because I don't really want to lay 9.5. But if the Wizards come out, pretty good, pretty strong, and it's 2 or 3 point game, or maybe the Wizards have some sort of lead, I would jump all over a Nets comeback in this game. So as soon as that line drops, I'm looking to take Brooklyn in that one. I mean, we know the Wizards are trash for real. Like, come on. All right, next game we got the Celtics hosting the Knicks. Celtics, man, they've been playing pretty good basketball as of late. I'm not a huge Celtic fan. I don't really like picking this team to win anything because I don't want to watch Jaylen Brown play basketball. New York Knicks slowly turning into another team that I don't really like to pick, but they've been treating me well when I do pick them. And I just can't stand to watch RJ Barrett play basketball. I just can't stand players that do nothing but force everything they even almost think of. It hurts my head, hurts my eyes. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see you passing because you have nothing else left to do. No. You need to pass when it's time to pass, not pass because it's the last resort. But anyway, next game. Memphis hosting Minnesota. Spread sitting at 6.5. Memphis coming off a win against Detroit, but I don't, 6.5. Another game I'm keeping an eye on. Another game I almost picked for the video, but there were just some other ones that I felt were a little bit more safe. I do like Minnesota here, minus the 6.5, but just one of those games I'll probably just watch instead of playing. I really can't get this Minnesota team figured out, even though they have a great record. I tend to pick them every time they lose, so I give them a break. Then we got the Miami Heat hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. Miami, man, pulling off the win in their last game without Bam and Tyler Herro. That was pretty impressive, not gonna lie. Cleveland as well, beating the Magic, but I wanted to take Cleveland that day. I swear I did. I just didn't want to fade my Magic like that because they had been treating me well as of late. So I just left that game alone because I knew they could have won. But Cleveland took care of business at home. Now they're on the road playing the Heat. Heat still banged up. Evan Mobley's a game time decision. He's questionable. But I don't know. I think I want to back the Heat there. Just another game that, kind of too close to call. A lot of injuries to wait on. So just keep an eye on that one. Then we got the Rockets or Denver Nuggets hosting the Rockets. Spread's at 8.5. Total's at 219. That's another under I would probably consider. But 8.5, man. The Rockets ain't been playing horrible. I faded them in their last game and they burned me. So 8.5 is a big margin. I know the Nuggets had some injury concerns. Jamal Murray's a game time decision. He's probable. So, if he shows up, Denver should win easily. But like I said, the Rockets been playing pretty good ball as of late. And I didn't want to fade them tonight. So I just left that off the board, off the ticket at least. Then we got the Kings and the Suns. That's going to be a really entertaining matchup. Let's see, the Suns are always missing somebody. Kevin Durant out, Bradley Beal out. What a surprise. The Devin Booker show. But you never know, man. These Kings been selling me. They're another team that every time I pick them, I can't seem to get it right. Every time I pick them, they lose. So, Suns are at home. Kings have more firepower at the moment. I want to take Sacramento here, but I think Devin Booker is going to have a pretty good performance after that L against Los Angeles, even though he did play well in that game. And however, the Suns do have Golden State on deck, so it could be a look-ahead spot. Right there. But I wouldn't be surprised to see this game go either way, and that's why I left it off the ticket. And then what we got left, Clippers and Jazz. Clippers should definitely take care of business. I know the Jazz are getting Clarkson back probably tonight. And Marketing is still out. But the Clippers won their last game against Denver, a big win. Now you're playing this sorry Jazz team. It's hard. I can see the Jazz sneaking one in right here, but I also can see the Clippers just absolutely demolishing the Jazz if they come out and play halfway decent. So the Clippers is just another one of those teams that I don't really like to back. And I don't want to lay 6, 7, 8 points with them. So I'm gonna just I'm gonna chill. And then our last game, we got the Portland Trailblazers hosting the Dallas Mavericks. That spread's at 8.5. I low-key like Portland plus the 8.5 in this one. We know Dallas doesn't play a ton of defense. They're, Luka, he's great. He's amazing. He's one of the nicest motherfuckers in the league, but he don't play no defense. And it hurts his team. And this Portland team is young. They play good. They play good defense. They rebound well. They play at a good pace. Malcolm Brogdon, Shaden Sharp, they've been hooping lately, so I would not be shocked if the Blazers can keep this one closer, even win the game. So they almost made the ticket, but I just felt like it was a little too risky to put out there. So yeah. And to recap our picks for Friday, December the 8th, We got the Toronto Raptors laying 4.5 on the road at Charlotte. Then we got the Philadelphia 76ers at home laying 7.5 against the Atlanta Hawks. And then we got OKC minus 3.5 against my beloved Golden State Warriors. And then lastly, we got the Spurs on the money line at home against the Chicago Bulls. I'm feeling pretty good about our ticket for tonight. We're shooting for a sweep, man. We've been really close the last few nights in our NBA videos. A lot of 3-1s, a lot of 2-2s. I think we're gonna go ahead and get a sweep. It's about that time. It's been a couple days since we had one, so actually about a week. So we need to go ahead and get a sweep going. If you made it this far in the video, man, thank you for watching. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, follow the page on X, follow the TikToks at BangBets, at Lit757. Let's get this money, man. We out.